Welcome to this deep dive. Today, it's all about, well, specialization. And maybe avoiding a tiny disaster. If you've ever restored vintage RC models, you know that feeling, right? Working with those old, fragile decals, it's high stakes. We're looking into why, for this specific job, one particular tool seems to be essential. It's the fingerstyle hobby knife versus the standard, the pen-style ones like the Exacto. Why the difference?
It really boils down to control, pure and simple. Think about holding a regular penknife. Your grip is further back. That distance, it acts like a lever, a long one.
The lever.
Meaning any tiny shake in your hand, even when you don't notice, gets amplified right down the blade tip, where you need absolute steadiness.
Okay, but hang on. The Exacto #11, that's like the standard for everything in modeling, isn't it? Are we saying ditch versatility just for decals?
For these decals, yes. I think the sources strongly suggest that. The finger knife has that loop, right?
Yeah.
Your index finger goes right through it, resting almost directly on the blade shank.
Ah, so it shortens that lever you mentioned.
Exactly. Control becomes localized. You get much better tactile feedback, much more sensitivity. It feels less like holding a tool and more like the blade is, part of your finger.
More intuitive control.
Right. And practically speaking, that odd shape means it doesn't roll off your workbench. We've all chased a rolling penknife, right?
Yeah, guilty. Okay, so stability is paramount. Why? What's the deal with the vintage decals themselves?
Time. The clear carrier film loses its plasticizers over decades. It becomes incredibly brittle. You'll often see micro cracks, maybe some yellowing. So when you restore it, maybe with liquid decal film.
You have to trim super close to the actual design.
Precisely. Any extra brittle film is just asking for trouble.
I remember reading one source. It was pretty blunt. Using scissors on these. Instant regret, it said. Why are scissors so bad here?
Because scissors don't cut cleanly in the way a knife does. They shear. Imagine two blades pushing the material sideways against each other. That's lateral stress.
And on something already brittle and cracked.
It just propagates those cracks. Shht. The whole thing can just shatter. A sharp knife uses downward pressure. Vertical. It makes a clean incision. Minimal stress on the surrounding material.
Okay, so knife, yes. Scissors, no. And the finger knife stability helps how?
It makes the safest method much easier. More
Right.
passes, less pressure. Instead of trying to cut through in one go, you gently score the line multiple times.
Less force, less risk of punching through and causing a fracture.
Exactly. That direct fingertip feel lets you gauge the resistance. But the real moment this knife shines, it's during application, especially with large, fragile decals, using what some call the moving the sheet technique.
Right, walk us through that. You position the decal, still on its backing paper, onto the model.
Wet, yeah. The goal is to touch the wet, fragile film as little as possible. You anchor one edge, then carefully slide the backing paper out from underneath.
Okay, I can see how that could go wrong. Wrinkles, tears.
So you need an anchor point. Something to hold that leading edge perfectly still while the paper slides out. And that's where the finger knife becomes, well, indispensable.
Use the knife tip.
The very tip. Gentle, perfectly vertical pressure. Just enough to pin that edge down without slipping or digging in. Try doing that with the leverage of a penknife. Tremors get magnified. Try it with your fingertip. Way too blunt, no precision.
So the finger knife acts like a tiny sable placement tool, almost surgical.
It really is. And that surgical roll continues even after it's down. Say you get a stubborn air bubble trapped underneath, that silvering look modelers hate.
Yeah.
After you apply a softener like Microsol, you use that ultra-sharp tip again. Just a tiny prick in the bubble or along a panel line. Lets the trapped air and solution escape. Helps the decal conform perfectly like it's painted on.
Okay, so summing this up for everyone listening.
It's really about specialization matching the risk. The finger knife isn't necessarily better overall than a penknife.
But for this very specific, high-risk task with brittle vintage decals,
It's design, that direct control, that stability, directly mitigates the key risks. It's about minimizing the chance of catastrophic failure.
it's a perfect case of an ergonomic trade-off, isn't it? You give up some general-purpose usability, like easy rotation.
For absolute rock-solid stability in the way that matters most for this job.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you. If this specific ergonomic design is crucial here, where else do we see this? Think about other high-precision fields, maybe watchmaking, microsurgery, even something like complex pastry work. Where does a specialized, perhaps less versatile tool become absolutely essential because the standard option just introduces too much risk? Something to consider.